Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect, episode 322. We are recording this on Monday. It's weird to say Monday. Monday, February 3rd, 2020. I'm David Lott. Joining me for this is Bobby Jackson.
Hey, what's up?
And Yasha Wilson.
Hey, everybody.
And Michelle Hillard.
How's it?
Hey, everybody. Happy day after Groundhog's Day.
It is. That's true. It is the day after Groundhog's Day, and we didn't watch.
And we didn't watch it because we were doing other things.
Yeah.
Well,
Do
or
you
we
normally
suck, but
watch it?
whatever.
Is that a?
No, it's
Is
not
that
really.
some sort of a
Actually,
thing?
I kind of randomly
I
put it
do,
on
actually.
a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I think I was
called
scrolling
you out on
through
it.
HBO or Showtime, and it was on. I was like, "Yeah, it sounds good." And the kids
Yeah.
were like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, and
My son was very confused by it.
yes, he was. Especially the part where he kept trying to kill himself. It's very confusing.
Oh,
well,
well,
he does.
yeah, I could see how he'd be confused by that.
Weird.
Yeah, this is true.
But I usually watch it every Groundhog's Day if I can. That's kind of a thing
Is
for me. Anyways.
Is that so? Like, let's say, let's take Christmas out of the equation. Is there other holidays that you watch a movie for? Because I wouldn't have thought Groundhog's Day, but is there a specific thing for when Valentine's Day rolls around? Is there something around, I don't know, like Memorial Day?
First of all, is it have you never heard of anybody watching Groundhog Day on Groundhog's Day?
No,
Really?
honestly, you're the first person I've heard say that. Yeah,
Really? All
yeah.
right. All right. Other holidays. I don't know.
4th of July.
Oh, I have a big one on 4th of July.
You have a big one on 4th of July, and I have a minor thing on 4th of July.
Really?
What is your minor thing on 4th of July?
No, you should go with your big one. We'll leave with that.
We'll leave it at that? No.
We'll lead with that.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I thought you said leave it.
Yeah, I did too.
No, we'll lead.
I usually watch, it's a musical, 1776. Mm-hmm. The film version, obviously.
It's a party over here.
Oh, it's good times.
So good.
With, what's the actor's name that was from Boy Meets World? He plays John Adams
He
in
plays
it.
Mr. Feeney.
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
know
remember
the
the
actor's
actor's name, but yeah.
But I love that
Yeah,
movie.
he's the lead in it. There's a couple other pretty big names in there too, but like Blythe Danner
Yep.
plays Mrs.
Jefferson.
Yep.
And it's a musical?
Yeah, it's a musical.
Yeah.
It was a stage musical. I think it won the Tony the year
It
it
did.
debuted on Broadway. I think there was one kind of a revival of it at one point that Brett Spiner played John Adams on stage in that
Okay.
musical.
I could see that.
I could be wrong, so don't quote me, anybody watching or listening. But I remember somebody telling me that once. No, I'm trying to think of anything else. Maybe Independence Day sometimes on July 4th.
That's my minor, my
Makes
4th of
sense.
July
Okay.
one is Independence Day. I like that one. I have a movie that I like watching. It's more of a seasonal film to me and not so much of a holiday one. But for some reason, I really like watching You've Got Mail around September, October, November-y time because so much of it takes place in the fall and then at Christmas season and then in the spring. But I think so much of it takes place in the end of the year time frame that it always kind of puts me in that mood, I guess. Especially the beginning of the film, if you watch it in the fall, a bouquet of freshly sharpened pencils. It's one of those things. Anyways.
Well, what about Yasha? He's quiet over there.
Yeah, he
Do you have
is.
anything that you watch at a certain time of the year? Oh,
He's very quiet.
super quiet.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's very quiet. Maybe I should see if he's even there anymore.
Yeah. See if he dropped off.
Yeah, he
Um,
did.
I-
He did. He dropped off. He's gone.
Oh no, we lost
Oh, we
Yasha.
lost Yasha.
We lost Yasha.
down.
But he'll probably be back. We will hold
Well,
our
I guess
hope.
for myself, I honestly don't. You know me. I don't typically get a chance to rewatch a lot of things, which kind of makes me sad because I wouldn't mind rewatching things, but I'm always trying to catch up on other things that I've heard are good, so it limits the time I can rewatch stuff. But for whatever reason, for a while there, I was always watching Friday After Next around Christmas time because it's a Christmas themed movie.
Oh, next Friday
And-
or
It is Friday After Next
I thought it was just the next Friday, the second one.
was there a third one?
the third one. Yeah.
Oh.
Is
There's
it
a
the
third.
third one? I thought it was the second one.
Friday.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were just talking about this. I just brought
Really?
this up the other day.
Yeah, because I don't know where we.
There
where
was an ad for the first two movies. There were some
And I-
channels airing them.
I revealed I've actually only ever seen the first one.
yeah.
I've seen the first one many times, but I've not seen.
And I was like,
anything
oh, we
else.
didn't watch that at Christmas time. And you're like, why would we watch it at Christmas time?
Yeah, that still throws me off. I'm still confused why you made that.
Because I thought it was the second one. I guess it is. The third one takes place at Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
So
thing.
Right.
it is. It's a thing. And so and it's besides the first one, it's probably my favorite one. And it's close because, I think that was my first introduction to Cat Williams, and he's pretty funny in the movie. And I think my first introduction to I can't think of his name all of a sudden, but he plays in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Terry Crews.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, I think that was my first introduction to him as well, and it's just a funny movie. So I like I said, it's a Christmas themed movie, and I just always seem to find myself watching it for a few years there. I think I haven't in like maybe the last 2 years, but for about a good stretch of 5 years maybe that was the thing I'd go to and watch. But that's kind of my only thing, really.
That's your only thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and then for me, there's the usual Halloween stuff, but
Yeah,
that's-
Halloween, Christmas.
There's
Vigor.
not like one in particular, other than I guess Hocus Pocus. There's not like a particular Halloween movie, just Halloween movies, horror movies
Yeah.
around basically the entire month of October. I
Which
can't think of
makes
anything else.
There's so many at Christmas time.
There was that failed attempt
Yeah.
to get everyone on board with every year I'm going to watch New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. What was it? New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? Why are you
I
looking at
wanna
me like
say
that? The movie,
New Year's
like
Day?
I can't remember. And then
No,
there was
maybe it was
the same version of that film. Basically, what was it? Valentine's Day. I think Valentine's Day came
Oh,
Right.
New Year's
Yeah.
Eve. Okay, that film.
Yeah.
Yes. Or what is it? 2,000 Cigarettes?
first. 2006.
Isn't that what it's called?
No,
The one that takes place on New Year's?
no, it's just called New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's what I thought it was
Oh.
called.
2000
New Year's Eve.
I have a way
thought.
better New Year's Eve.
Ashton Kutcher's in it, right? And
Yeah, there's a better movie we could watch at New Year's.
I'm not saying I would watch it. I'm just they were obvious attempts of let's make a movie that everyone will watch every
Right.
New Year's. So let's make a movie
Right.
everyone will watch on Valentine's Day. And no one ever talks about those movies ever.
No, I would
Oh.
say 2,000 Cigarettes would be a better New Year's Eve movie.
What is 2000 Cigarettes? Why am I blinking on that?
It takes place on New Year's in the 80s, actually. It's actually really good.
Oh,
It's really good. I think it's really good. For a movie
I'll have to
that
look
is
that up.
when you have a big group of people in a film, I can't think of what it's called now.
an ensemble
Yeah,
cast.
thank you. When it's a big ensemble for an ensemble cast, and it does what like Love Actually does. It kind of is different stories, kind of all interwoven into this one main section. It's good. I
Wonder
like
if that movie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it. No.
No, yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, because I looked on IMDb for New Year's Eve, and I was just looking at the cast. And I was gonna say, I wonder if that movie would do better now, just because of some of these people that are in here. Maybe have gotten a little bit more notable recently. But I mean, I'm looking at Michelle Pfeiffer, Zac Efron, Robert De Niro, Halle Berry, Carrie Elwes. I always forget how to
Elwes.
say
I think
it.
it's Elwes.
Alyssa Milano, Common, Seth Meyers, Jessica Biel. I mean, it's a pretty good cast.
Oh
but
yeah, it's got a big
movie.
cast.
Yeah.
200 cigarettes.
And I was gonna say I'm incorrect. It's 200 cigarettes because apparently, from the start to the finish, 200 cigarettes get smoked in the film. Because it takes place in the 80s.
99, but it takes place in the 80s. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
It was made in
Okay.
99. It's a collection of 20-somethings trying to cope with relationships, loneliness, and desire to their individual neuroses. But I remember, I think it's like, I want to say it's the 89 going to 90 year. So it's like the start of the 90s, and they're all just like, oh, we're all going to be so much better in the next decade.
Right.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day. I don't think I've
We
ever
should
done
watch
that.
that one. I think you'd actually like that one. Anyways, so do we have any hopes of getting Yasha back at this point?
I haven't heard from him. I'm gonna. Sorry, Yash. I'm gonna remove your icon from the screen. I'll bring him back if he comes back, but unfortunately he's not there.
Yeah, I don't have any text from him or anything
No.
like that. I do have the text that says that my federal tax return was accepted by the IRS.
Well, there you
so
go.
That's good news. I literally did it as I picked up my phone to look for Yasha. I was like, oh,
Very,
my
very
taxes.
important.
Everybody should do their taxes.
Yes, you should. I plan to.
And that, that's the more you know for the
And
day.
if you're in Iowa right now, you are probably caucusing.
People are probably caucusing. Anyways,
That's your political comments for the day.
here we go.
There's a caucus happening. That's all I'm going to say.
Cheers.
Yeah. I was going to say really quick before we get to our topics. I know we're not really digging into like stuff we've been watching, but we saw The Gentleman, and I really liked it. I just wanted to say that really quick.
I really like The Gentleman too. Actually, I feel like I'm picky on his films.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, and that one I actually really liked. I'm not saying that I haven't disliked a lot in the past. Well, I will say, what was that King Arthur one? I was not a fan of.
See, I like that one.
Me too.
I did. I think Yasha's a fan too.
I know Yasha's a fan of it actually, but no,
That was one of those. Sorry, I felt like it was really underrated. I really liked it. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Anyways, well, I really like The Gentleman, and I highly recommend The Gentleman. People will go watch it.
Did you end up seeing it, Bobby?
No, I got busy and I didn't get a chance to. So I am definitely making it a plan to see it. Although I kind of was a little bit worried. This is one of those movies where I feel like even though I might read some bad things or negative things about it, I still want to see it just because it looks interesting to me. So I'm going to disregard the what I see online. But it's been heavily mixed from what I could see. Some people are saying, "Oh, it's a nice return to form for Guy Ritchie," and others are saying it's like a pale in comparison to his old stuff. It's like he's trying to recapture that feeling, but it falls short. And so I don't know what I'll feel coming out of it, but I do want to see it. And some people had some trouble with, I guess, some stereotyping going on within the movie. And so, yeah, I don't know what to think yet, obviously, because I haven't seen it, but I'm planning on seeing it this weekend. So I'll let you know how I feel.
Yeah, I'm curious. I will say I went in with, I would think, relatively lower expectations going in. Like,
Yeah, I did too.
I liked what I was seeing from the trailers and TV spots, but I still went into it thinking, I don't know. I have a bad feeling this isn't going to be that good. I had a feeling it was going to be decent, like to good, but not great. And I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it was great, but I really liked it.
It was better than a decent film. It was really enjoyable. Like I laughed a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like it was really well written and really well acted, and I liked seeing some of the actors in roles they don't normally play in, like persona types almost. I was like, wow, this is a little bit of a departure from what you normally would see this person as, and I like that. And no, yeah, I thought the story was woven together very well. I was very pleasantly surprised by this film.
Right.
Anyways,
I feel like you should. I think you have more space. Can you text Yasha and make sure he's okay?
aww.
Now I'm worried. I'm like, anyway, but we'll move on while you do that. Yeah, with that, I guess we'll turn things over to you, Bobby, for our first item of the day. What's been going on?
Well, there was a game this past Sunday. The Super Bowl happens every year. And for those who don't have much of an interest in the game itself, which I did. I actually thought it was a really good game, especially in that fourth quarter. The Kansas City Chiefs of Missouri, not Kansas,
Our second political comment of the day.
won the Super Bowl. I have a lot of 49er friends, and so I was over at one of my 49er friends' house, and yeah, it was. You could feel how deflated the room got once the game happened. But the other good thing that always happens during the Super Bowl is the ads, and we all look forward to that. And I know there's some texting going on between our group, and certain commercials seem to hit home pretty well. So I'm very curious to hear your guys's essentially your best. What was your favorite? What made you kind of laugh and chuckle, or maybe even tear up a little? I'm gonna start with Michelle.
Oh, okay. There were some good ads this year. I feel like there's been years where the Super Bowl ads have actually kind of let me down. I've kind of been like, wow, that was kind of ho-hum. Like probably the last 2 or 3, honestly. But this year, I will say there were some sure winners in my opinion. There's one that I think came out earlier in the week that we all saw and we all thought was spectacular. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. But
I didn't see anything, I think, earlier in the week.
yeah, we did.
We did?
You
I
and
think
I
there's
watched it
one
together.
more.
Oh, that one. Yes. You're right.
But I will say the one that really like emotionally got me, and I think it basically killed everybody, was the Google one of the man reminiscing about his wife and having Google remember, moments and things and thoughts and emotions for him. And that just killed me. I actually had to, at the end, I had to get up and like leave the room. And I'm like, I'm fine. Everything's great. Like, super good and just refill my drink. That one got me. I liked it. It was really good. I thought good. Well done, Google. I think have twisted the knife in everybody's heart a little bit. In my opinion.
I mean, if the goal was to get everybody to keep talking about the ad,
Josh is back.
then, hey
It's
guys,
almost like he never was gone. He just jumped right in there.
Stephen and I just
well,
got so
it's true. You
startled.
acknowledged that I was gone, so I just
We
decided to
did.
pretend that I had never left. So, if the goal was for Google to basically have people talk about the ad after the fact, then they've succeeded.
Oh,
Which
for
I don't
sure.
understand why they really need to do that, because I think everybody really does use Google more times than not, and their services. And that ad was just heart wrenching, and to me it just was like, okay, well, I have so many questions. Like, is Loretta? Is she gone? Did she die? Does he have Alzheimer's? Why does he need to be reminded of all these events? Why does he need to, why is he doing this? Why isn't he just writing them down? Well, I guess writing them down would be, contradictory to the case of basically, the whole premise of using Google in the first place. But those are my main questions. Is Loretta dead? And does this guy have Alzheimer's? What's the deal? Why is he going through this whole process of remembering all these different things?
It's interesting. I think I need to go back and watch that commercial, because I feel like either something happened at the party I was at that made me not see the whole thing, or I was in a zone or something, because I remember the first part of it, and then I was like, okay, this is interesting, because it sounds like this is a real guy, because the way he was speaking. So I didn't think it was like a paid professional doing the commercial. But then as he was starting to talk about some of the things that he was asking Google to help with, I thought that was pretty cool. But then all of a sudden I don't remember the rest of the commercial. So I'm like, when I heard you guys texting, or when I saw you guys texting and talking about how emotional it was, it's like, what did I miss? Because I felt like I definitely must have missed something, that it didn't hit me the same way. So I'm like, okay, I got to go back and watch that commercial. And there's a few of commercials I think that are like that I might need to go back and watch, just because I didn't feel like I got the full brunt of it.
Yeah, I could definitely see if you're at
Well,
like a party atmosphere. I don't know what the atmosphere was where you were, but yeah, I could see how an ad like that it wouldn't quite work when you're in a room full of people and it's kind of loud. I get that.
Well, it's just like it really just like put a brake on, in my opinion, of like the whole party that I was at. Like it just slammed on the fucking everything that was going through the whole day. It's like everybody's laughing and joking, and we're listening to the commercials. Like this is great, this is great. And then everybody's like dead silent, listening and watching this Google commercial. We're like, all right then. So I hope Loretta's okay. Like, what's Jesus? Like it was just emotional. So.
Yeah,
My take on
it was an emotional one, but I think they hit the nail on the head. It was very good marketing on their end, I think. And then I think for me, it was interesting to see that there was a bunch of companies coming together for the end result being in a really bad commercial, because leading up to that commercial, everything was really well. There's a bunch of mashups happening between different companies, and I thought they were doing really well with that. Up until literally the very last commercial that revealed the whole mashup situation.
You're talking about the Procter & Gamble one?
Yeah, it was not good.
No,
but
I'd say I hated that ad.
I hated that ad at the end, but it was nice leading up until that point. And I actually really liked, the Tide kind of popping in and out of other commercials. I thought that was really cute. I was like, this is enjoyable.
Yeah.
Especially like the Wonder Woman spot. I was like, well, that was cute. And then even then Patty Jenkins like tweeted, she was like, hey, they just had our spot. So it was cute. I think the other one that I really liked a lot was the Jeep commercial that was a riff and spin on Groundhog Day.
Speaking of, yeah.
It was really cool, in my opinion. I really liked it. It was fun.
I saw a lot of people calling out Bill Murray, saying he sold out because he did a TV commercial and he's not done one before.
Oh,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I was like,
oh,
I don't understand. Why does it matter? He did something that I thought was cool because it was Groundhog's Day yesterday, so it fit in with the idea of it. And it's not like Bill Murray's hurting for cash, so it's not like he did it for a cash grab or anything. He thought it would probably be fun and cool to do, and so he went back and did it. I think that's probably the gist of it, and I think it was fun.
No, that's exactly it right there. That is it. I know you kind of liked it.
Yeah, that was a good ad. The Hyundai commercial, which was
the Hyundai commercial,
the only one that I did see beforehand, and I think that was the big difference this year. I think because of the events with Kobe, I'd heard that's why a lot of companies weren't really doing let's get all excited about our ads pre-Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So a lot of them weren't really being released, from my understanding, before the Super Bowl actually happened. So this was one of those years where, as I was watching the game, I was like, wow, I actually haven't seen most of these commercials before. This almost never happens.
I know. I found myself leaving the room to go use the restroom or refill during the game and making sure I was back in the couch to watch the commercials.
Right.
Which, I mean, makes me sound, I guess, like a typical chick, but I actually like football.
Many people say that.
Yeah. But anyways, no, I was impressed with the commercials this year. Overall, I thought that they were pretty good. And Mr. Peanut is not dead.
I thought that ad wasn't going to happen. I thought I'd heard that they were going to dump the whole funeral thing.
Because of the Kobe thing.
Right.
So what I heard is I guess there was another commercial, and I could be wrong about this, but and let me know out there if I get this wrong, but from my understanding, there was another commercial where he actually dies in a plane crash or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this commercial that they actually aired, it's the funeral. So there was a different commercial where he actually dies in that.
And that's what they got rid of.
Okay. And that's what they got rid of,
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because I was like, I didn't understand. I was like, when did he die? Like, I'm confused. Like,
it was
he's supposed to be dead, but...
I guess it was supposed to be a two-parter. I guess it was supposed to be a two-parter during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But due to the events that occurred literally a week prior, I think intelligently they were like, you know what? We're just going to run the second one. It's fine. We spent enough money. We're at least running one of them, and we're going to run that one.
So was that whole ad, has it been like common knowledge for a while? Because on SNL, they had the whole thing with in the opening cold open, he was in hell.
Yes. I think it was a thing that had occurred. I guess it was coming out that was going to be happening. Like, I think they leaked it that was happening, that people should tune in to see these two commercials.
I got you.
Anyways, but then literally the next day,
I think I learned about it maybe the Monday before that weekend before the helicopter crash with Kobe. And so I think that would have been enough time for SNL writers to get wind of it if it was, that Monday prior and
Yeah.
Right.
to have developed something. So, yeah.
So.
But then, okay, so Michelle, if there wasn't any other ones that you wanted to talk about, David, do you think there was any that she didn't cover that you also liked as well?
Nothing honestly comes to mind. I mean, I thought there was some decent ads, but then there was nothing that I thought was like really great.
There was one I
was,
really laughed at.
I was trying to scroll through one kind of collection of ads here, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that was fine, but nothing that like kind of blew me away. Like, I don't watch Rick and Morty, unfortunately, so I mean, that was a funny ad though. With the
It was a
Pringles
funny ad. I kind of like the Winona one though. The one for
Squarespace.
yeah, for Squarespace. I thought it was kind of cute. It was a whole like Fargo thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I remember kind of liking this Amazon. That was all right. The Alexa one with Ellen and Portia.
Oh yeah, we did actually kind of giggle at that one. Especially it was the part where it was the Watergate.
Yes, that
And
part was good.
That was the funny part. Is the secretary was like, "Yeah, I'm super gonna."
So
and
like,
she's
I'm not deleting shit or whatever.
I'm not deleting and then it cuts. And it was
Yeah.
like, damn, that was so good.
That was pretty good.
That was a good moment. I like that one.
I thought the Mountain Dew shining thing was kind of weird.
It was. I feel like it started out well and then it ended very badly.
It was odd.
It was weird.
Anyway, that's my. I don't really have much. I thought some of them were fine, but nothing like great. I thought I thought the Michelob Ultra one with Fallon and John Cena was.
I thought that was super meh, and I actually read an article saying it was one of the best ones for the year pre Super Bowl, and it was like, so when I saw it come on, I was like, oh hey, I heard this is really good, and I'm watching and going, oh my god, it's really not.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Did you have any, Yasha? Sorry.
I mean, basically, you guys, we were all kind of on the same page when it came to some of the ads. Like, I mean, there was a couple that were fun. I really, really enjoyed the Groundhog Day one. That one made me laugh out loud. Like, I am a Bill Murray fan, and I do enjoy that movie. Like, I think it's great, and I think it's even. What makes it even better is that they got the actors, like a lot of the main actors, to come back, or at least Ned Ryerson to come back, and Bill Murray to do it, and like it was fun. Like that was a fun little commercial that was funny. I really, really loved the cross promotion between Tide and Budweiser. I thought that was great. Very well done. And then I'd be remiss to say if I didn't enjoy the movie trailers. There weren't that many this time, but I was really, really amped when I saw the teaser for Disney Plus' series, and I'm sure you guys were as well.
Yeah.
That was like a lot of fun footage, but at the same time, nothing. Like it really just kind of hints at everything, and I'm just like, oh, it can't get here soon enough, man. I am so excited. And the group that I was with, I mean, we all kind of echoed, and was like, yeah, this is exactly why you get Disney Plus for these shows, because those look fantastic. They look so much fun, but that's because I think they look so much fun to us because we're thoroughly invested in these characters, and to see what they're going to stem from these and work into next is definitely huge.
Side note, Disney Plus is trying to figure out a way to get the taxes lowered on their streaming service. They just announced that too. Did you see that article?
Yeah, so that they can basically charge the same amount and they can make more money. I think is the idea, which is
I think that's the problem. That would make sense if they did that.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
like lower
the
taxes so we get more of the profit.
basically.
Hey, we're helping you out.
Yeah,
not really, but anyways.
So I guess with me, I'll echo what Yasha said as far as the Disney Plus one. I thought, well, for one, that wasn't on my radar. I didn't know that they were going to do that. Yeah. So when it happened, it surprised me. I think I was, again, being at a party, I think we were maybe talking and doing something. And as soon as I saw the shield, I was like, wait.
Everyone shut up.
Everybody in the room, shut up! Right now.
I knew something was there. And I was like, what's going on? And so then to have that reveal, I thought was so good and so smart because, for one, there's us who are in the know, like you kind of mentioned, Yasha. And the other thing I thought was good about it is that it's telling people who maybe have watched The Mandalorian and who have Disney Plus, or people who don't have Disney Plus, like, hey, we've got some more content coming, and look at what we have coming if you're an MCU Marvel fan. So that was, I thought, really well placed ad for them to advertise their Disney Plus, even though it's already doing well. It's like, hey, don't cancel that yet. We've got some more stuff coming. So I really like that. One of the other ones I liked was the Doritos commercial with Lil Nas X and Sam Elliott. I did laugh at that. I got to admit, at first I was like, what is this? And just with Sam Elliott being who he is, yeah, I thought it was just kind of funny. And the other one I liked a lot was the Jason Momoa one with the Rocket Mortgage. Yeah. Did you guys see that one?
That was one I think that aired at a point when I either walked away from the TV or something.
I must have missed that one.
I missed it.
Oh, well, I won't spoil it for you. Yeah, I'll let you guys watch that. And it's pretty funny. And a nice little shout out seeing Lisa Bonet at the end of the commercial as well. But I'll let you guys watch it and see what's going on in that one. But that's pretty much my list, and I do agree. I thought a lot of the commercials were pretty good this year. One of the things I liked too. I don't even know if it was really a commercial for anything specifically, except for maybe the NFL. But it was right in the beginning when it was like the kid and it was Take It to the House, and he's running through all the different cities, and there's different NFL players in it, and then the kid that was in the commercial actually comes out onto the field in live real time along with a whole bunch of other kids, and they take center stage, and it was pretty cool. So I like that.
Yeah, that was actually a really fun ad. Like I really enjoyed that one as well. Like the Take It to the House commercial, and just all the different stadiums. And I think they had enough kids on the field that they all had the NFL jerseys on, the respective jersey on there. So at least that's kind of what I picked up on. But yeah, that was definitely a really fun ad. And looking at that is just like that kid is like, it sucks that he peaked at 9, but hey, hopefully he doesn't know.
That sucks.
Well, real quick, just to kind of wrap up Super Bowl, what did you guys think of the halftime show? Good, bad, indifferent, whatever?
I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was pretty badass. Like, I mean, it was entertaining for the most part. It definitely was better than last year's Super Bowl, that's for sure. But it was fine.
Yeah, I'm there. I think it was fine. I don't know if because I see a lot of people were really loving it, and I don't know specifically. I mean, I think it was done well, but I didn't feel like I was jumping out of my seat. And then maybe it's the catalog. Like, they've got decent songs, but nothing to me that I super love. And they're beautiful women, and they're obviously going to look good doing what they're doing. But if you sort of kind of remove that from it, it wasn't like a big, huge spectacle in the way that I've seen in some past ones. Not counting last year, but there's been other ones that have been like Beyonce's or the Bruno Mars and stuff. I think I enjoyed those better, but I thought this was still good, but I just wasn't like over the top about it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't over the top at all either. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. So yeah, I think for me, like when I look at it as the women's actual performances, like their actual singing and the dancing and then the choreography of everything, I thought the performance was really great, but there was just no spectacle to it, which I think is what I'm used to. Like there was no like grand entrances or like really majorly big surprises or set pieces or like it wasn't like The word is spectacle. There was no big halftime spectacle. It was just them performing like I was at a concert or something, which is not bad. It just was kind of like, okay, these are really great performances. These women are very talented in their performing arts, and I just kind of was like, it's a great performance, but where's my Super Bowl spectacle? I want more than that for Super Bowl.
Here's what I was thinking too. Watching it, I was like, oh, this is cool, kind of, this is kind of cool. But my thing is like, look, if you're gonna play and do these songs that were huge hits because they were collaboration songs, bring out the person you collaborated with and really make it a show. Like, I understand that this may have been on your album, but it's like Shakira did a song that Wyclef produced and produced and remixed and everything like that, but didn't bring out Wyclef. And then J-Lo did one. She did one with I think there was one with Ja Rule, and there was like a couple of others. And I'm just like, I mean, I understand she probably couldn't bring out Ja Rule because he's just kind of still on the blacklist from the whole Firefest thing. But at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna do these songs that were huge hits for you respectively, but they were huge hits also because they were collaboration songs, like, I feel like you should bring out the person that you collaborated with, and that would have been, I think, that would have added to what you're looking for, Michelle, when it comes to like, oh, give me that grandeur where it's just like, oh, wow, look, they got Ja Rule to come out, or they got Wyclef to come out. He did the song and then he just bailed. Like, how awesome is that?
Yeah, like I would have put money that Pitbull would have been there. Like,
Yeah.
seriously,
I
it's
was
in
surprised that
Miami, for the
Pitbull
love
wasn't
of
there.
God, and he's collaborated with both of these artists. Like, you literally
Yeah.
couldn't get Pitbull. Like, how did that not work?
Yeah.
The
Who
only
messed
thing,
up?
Anyway,
okay, I will say the only thing that I might be able to have a defense against that for is the fact that some artists didn't want to perform at the Super Bowl halftime because of the Colin Kaepernick thing. So there may have been some of those artists that they reached out to and was like, no, we're not going to do that right now. So that could be a possibility.
I do kind of get that, and I respect that, but at the same time, it's the Super Bowl. It's J-Lo and Shakira asking you to show up for like a minute. You're going to get paid a crap ton of money to show up for a minute.
For 30 seconds of performing.
Anyways. You didn't have any deep thoughts on the halftime show, did you?
Not really.
Deep thoughts from David. on the
Overall,
halftime
actually, I thought it was pretty good. But I also say that from a place of, and I don't mean to be grumpy about it, but I think Super Bowl halftime shows, I'm just like, in general, the whole like concept of an artist or mini artist going out in how many minutes is it? 15 minutes or so?
Yeah.
And doing this medley of snippets of all of these hit songs of theirs. I just find the whole thing kind of like, I'd rather like a band go out and play like 2 good songs, like, or something. I don't know.
I mean, back in the day, it used to be about the spectacle of it, and yeah, they would play 3 full songs, basically.
I mean, and I guess that's where the spectacle comes in. If you are going to do this compressed concert in the middle of the Super Bowl, it's like, well, at least like try to make it a big production, do a big thing.
Like, I think about Lady Gaga's entrance. I think about Katy Perry's entrance.
Right.
Like, these were major, like, set pieces, and they really brought it, and it was
Right.
really cool to watch that. And, I mean, I can go back because I'm old and talk about ones from the 80s and the 90s, but we'll keep it to the relevant ones in the last few years, and they're pretty awesome. But this was kind of performance-wise great, show-wise,
I think the last one I can think of where at least one artist among the many that I was like, wow, that was pretty incredible was, and I forget who else he performed with, but it was when Bruno Mars performed. I forget how many years ago that was.
too.
Just a handful.
4.
Yeah.
That was a really good
just
one.
there was something about his performance in particular. I was like, God damn it, that guy is good.
No, that was
But,
a really good one.
I mean, but the rest of it, I was like, meh. Like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho. Moving on.
So Star Wars.
Star
Good
Wars, because that
segue.
always
Star
makes me happy
Wars,
these
yeah.
days.
Exactly, your favorite thing.
Yeah.
Well, last week it seems like out of nowhere. Who knows how this got leaked? But there was some test footage of a show that George Lucas was working on, probably at least a good decade ago, where he was doing this Star Wars Underworld show, which was going to show Coruscant, like the seedy side of it, where you had mercenaries and all kinds of, um, I guess maybe under the table type dealings of things going on. And there was maybe what 5-6 minutes of footage that leaked out, and it's just sort of a test of what would have been proof of concept for them to then shop around to networks and hopefully have someone pick it up, and then obviously it would have aired on whatever network. And this was before Disney actually bought Lucasfilm, so this was really under George Lucas's watchful eye and his direction of what he was wanting to do for TV. And I know you guys got a chance to watch it, and I'll say, at least for my part, when I saw it, I thought to myself that it had an interesting look to it, because it felt like something in terms of the way it looked and slightly in tone, something that was similar to Battlestar Galactica, but kind of mixed in with a little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a weird way, which is interesting just because that would have predated it. But I thought, as far as what we saw, it would have been something I would have really been into back then. But seeing it today and seeing what we've had today with The Mandalorian and just in general of Star Wars, it feels dated in that look that it had, although there was an authenticity to it as well. It did still have a Star Wars sort of look to it. But yeah, I think back then, if this had came out, I would have ate it up. And today it would be fine, but they'd have to retool it in a way, I think, and it could still work for today, but it's just not specifically as a finished product. And by their own admission, it wasn't supposed to be. It was just test footage. But what did you think of it, David?
I mean, yeah, it's very much test footage. Like the mix, especially the ADR in it is just like really weird. It's obvious that they didn't like record production dialogue when they shot it. Like it's like somebody talking in a room, like on a really bad mic or something, just kind of talking over what's supposed to be the person speaking. It's anyway. But overall, I thought it was actually kind of interesting. I remember seeing the still image from an article before I watched the whole clip and being like, do I even want to watch this? Like, you know,
from the still?
Yeah, just from the still. I'm like, there's something about this. This is going to be bad. And then I watched it and I'm like, it has this feel, I think, kind of like what you're saying. I mean, I get what you're saying when it comes to the Battlestar Galactica look. You're right. I hadn't thought about that. But overall, it kind of felt like Star Wars. I was like, I mean, better production quality. This could be pretty good. But there's one moment scene in it that is like it is the ultimate like stormtroopers can't aim example. It's terrible. Like literally these people are like this far from each other. Like the guys on the other side of the table, it's like the stormtroopers are right there and they're firing at each other and nobody can hit anybody. It's really bad. Anyway, other than that, I don't know. It was kind of interesting.
Did you see it, Michelle?
I did not. I missed out on it.
Well, you have to go back and check it out because you are a Star Wars fan as well, so I'd be curious to hear what you think also. But then I guess, Yasha, that leaves you. Did you have a chance to check it out?
I did. And honestly, I think David summed up, my sentiments exactly. That's kind of really how I felt about it too. I was like, do I want to watch this? And then I watched it. I was like, okay, that was kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. That's really just how I looked at it. I was like, that was kind of cool. And I just left it at that. And I was just like you too, Bobby, like, if this had come out 10, 15 years ago, I'd probably be like, oh shit, this is the best thing since sliced bread. This is so much fun.
Right.
But the fact that we do have The Mandalorian and these very, very high production shows and the special effects and everything, like, especially when it comes to The Mandalorian, like, you stream that whole thing together, and it is like one gigantic movie. Like, I mean, the special effects are fantastic. But yeah, like this is just like, okay, that's very not real. That's very, I mean, obviously, but it's like, and then yeah, David, like you said, is like these guys can't aim for shit.
Right.
Like it's pathetic.
Oh my God, it's
It's
so
like
bad.
they're a foot away from you.
They like literally do the right there.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
just even the way they like try to convince you like he's shooting the blaster and how the fire just goes at this angle. I'm like, no. He was actually pointing at the guy. Like anyway,
It would have hit.
it would have hit.
It would have hit.
all he had to do was hold the gun up and point in that general vicinity, and you would have hit him.
Right.
Like, but you didn't. Like, for whatever reason, you curve bullets now. Like, what's going on? Curving lasers?
Did we lose Josh all of a sudden?
No,
No,
he
here.
finished up.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought you were still going for a second there.
In the
All
thought.
right.
End of thought.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think maybe at some point it's possible that they could easily retool that and get some of the ideas of what they have and maybe make a show of it again. Or maybe just seed some of those things and ideas that they had and put it into other shows like Mandalorian or possibly even the Cassian Andor series. So
Right.
could see some of that stuff show up at some point in time, but it was not a bad attempt for the time, and it's kind of just an interesting footnote in, I guess, Star Wars history at this point.
Yeah.
So, looks like there's going to be another Transformer movie. David, are you happy?
Oh man, you don't know. What's funny is I own a copy of Bumblebee. I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, the digital
Wait,
copy
what?
is there, and we still haven't
It's
actually
so
watched
sad.
it.
Yeah.
No.
The kids have seen it. The kids watched it
They
once,
have.
Oh,
but I-
no.
They have.
and that's apparently even pretty good.
It is.
That's
So
why-
This is actually...
Yeah.
That's why when I
It was
saw that it
good,
was
man.
so cheap once on Apple TV, and I was like, it was like on sale for $7 one day or something. I'm like, sure, I'll pick that up. I hear it's pretty good. The kids might watch this, but yeah, I haven't watched it.
Wow. Well, our news does sort of have a little tie-in to Bumblebee because of the fact that Paramount is developing 2 movies for Transformers. And right now they don't know which direction they're going, so they're developing both simultaneously. One is going to take this essentially what there was a spin-off of the Transformers a while back, and it was called Beast Wars. And it took animals that were, well, the premise is still that they're robots, but then they transform into animals in this case. And there was like Optimus Primal, there's Cheetor, Rhinox, and there was some obviously Decepticon characters, and I think one of them changed into a bat, but they were just basically animals. And it actually predates the let's see, I'm trying to remember how it goes. It comes after the Transformers series that was what everyone knows as Generation 1.
Right.
And so
I do
They-
vaguely remember this, actually, as weird as it
Yeah.
sounds. Like, I'm
so
like,
did you ever
oh,
watch that?
I think I did. It does sound familiar. I don't think I watched it religiously like I did with Transformers, but
Mhm.
it does sound like something that I wound up watching because my brothers were watching it, and they're a little bit younger than I am. So I think it was one of those, like, I kind of watched it, but I wasn't really into it as much. Because like as you were just talking about it, I was going, okay, yep, yeah, yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was a rat too. I forget what
Yeah.
his character was, but so
Yeah.
that cartoon was actually pretty good. I remember it started off a little rocky with me. I wasn't all the way into it, but I stuck with it, and then it really ended up getting deep and heavily serialized and into the mythology of even the first generation of Transformers, and it tied into it, and it was really cool. I think they really ended up doing a good job with it. And at the time, this wasn't an animated show in just cartoon, the look of it. It was sort of a 3D version, kind of, I don't know, more like a Toy Story kind of look to it, as opposed to just animated. So it was a different type of look to it, and it just it told a really good story. So there's that side of it that they're trying to develop that, which is completely different from all the other Transformers they have done. But then there's a second one where they're trying to develop something that still lies within the Bumblebee universe that was created with this last movie in the Transformers universe of Bumblebee. And they've never really specifically said if that Bumblebee movie is connected to the old Transformers movies that we have,
Right.
or if this was supposed to start a new thing somehow. So it's interesting that we have that, but either way, either of these projects would be different than any of the other Transformers movies we have had, so they'd be in their own separate thing. So I guess, I don't know, I can't really specifically say if you guys would have an opinion one way or another if you haven't seen Bumblebee, but by the way it sounds, would you have any kind of direction you'd lean towards them going if you could say, hey, I think you should try this one out and see where it takes us?
I guess I'm not sure I know what you mean. Like,
Which one would you want to see, a Bumblebee sequel or this other Beast Wars Transformers movie?
I'm gonna say based off the image search I just did on Beast Wars, I'm gonna go with Bumblebee.
Yeah.
This is rough looking to me. I don't know about this, but I mean, also just based on the fact that, I mean, all jokes aside, Bumblebee, even though I haven't seen it, apparently is pretty good.
Yeah.
And if indeed it's as good as everyone seems to generally agree, then yeah, I'm all down for a sequel to a movie I haven't seen yet. Does it make sense?
No,
It
agreed.
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I guess when I now you had me looking back at it, do a search for it, and it's
It's
I
rough.
guess for the time, yeah,
Yeah.
it was okay at the time, but you look at it now and it's not. But the actual story and what they did with it was really good. So, if in a live action version, then I think that would be really cool. Obviously, the way it looks in
I mean, yeah.
animated form, it's not great. But
Right, a modern live action version of this. I know I'm joking that it looks kind of silly what I'm seeing over here, but I'm sure it'll probably look actually pretty badass. It could anyway.
Yeah.
But
I'm
if I had to
curious.
pick one or the other right now and go, I can only pick one, I'd pick the Bumblebee sequel.
Gotcha. Yasha, did you ever see the Beast Wars Transformers?
I know what Beast Wars is, but I never watched it. Like,
Okay.
I found out after the fact. I was like, what is this? You know, like, and a friend of mine who's really into this stuff too, he told me as well. He's like, dude, it's Transformers. And I tried to watch it a little bit, but unlike sticking with it, Bobby, I was just like, no, I don't want to do this. And I stopped watching pretty immediate. Like, I don't even think I finished the first episode that I started to watch. Like, that's how quickly I stopped. But as far as the Bumblebee movie goes, like, for a sequel for that, yeah, I would definitely be into a sequel there, because I enjoyed the Bumblebee movie more than I thought I was going to. It was a fun movie. It was really what the movies I think should have been before they went down this just clusterfuck of just trash. And the other ones, like, I mean, it's just getting worse with every movie that it came out, and you're just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But the Bumblebee movie, like, I'm like, yeah, this is actually dope. Like, I mean, they really did a lot of the throwback work, and it came out to it played. Like, David,
Yeah.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I just think you're going to be pleasantly surprised as to how much you really do enjoy the movie.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I echo that. And I think I'm on the same page as you guys. I think I would rather see a Bumblebee sequel compared to the Beast Wars. And I say that only because I think with what they gave us in Travis Knight directing the Bumblebee movie, it turned out so well. It was heartfelt. It just did such an amazing job of keeping it smaller and making it still feel big in certain ways. And I just really thought that they handled it extremely well, considering their past record with the franchise. So I feel like a sequel to that, if they brought back Travis Knight, or at least had someone of the same kind of pedigree to do a sequel, we've already have the template of what works for this franchise as it is Bumblebee. So to make a sequel, I think they would be okay, as opposed to if they try to do this Beast Wars things with Beast Wars thing, it's an unknown quantity to them, essentially not doing a Transformers with the characters that everyone knows. So it has a higher potential of falling flat on its face. So I would say lean towards the Bumblebee direction as well.
Yeah, 100%.
We all agree.
Cool. Well, this next item that we have to talk about, I'm pretty sure Michelle's going to have some things to say about it. And so let's jump right into it. It's Disney has purchased the rights to have the Hamilton stage musical shown theatrically as a film. And it's interesting because I remember a while back when that they had said that Lin-Manuel Miranda had made filmed some of the last performances around the time when the original cast was there, and that they were going to do something with that footage at some point in time. So to me, obviously, that meant they're going to make a movie version of it in terms of just what they filmed, not making an actual movie of it, but just showing what they did as the stage play, and being able to show it for people who couldn't ever get tickets to go see the thing. So here it is. Disney has purchased it. The date that I see, it says October 15th, 2021. So still a little ways off, but we definitely have at least something to look forward to. And I am very curious at this point to hear Michelle's thoughts on it.
I've known about the footage, and I'm glad that something's happening with it. And honestly, I'm tickled pink. Like, I really love this Broadway show. I know people love it even more than I do, and I'm very happy with this Broadway show. Dave and I were able to see it last year when during Broadway Across America when they came through Orlando. So we got to see the traveling group. I would love to see the original cast. That's something that, like, there's only, how many thousands of people that have seen the original cast in comparison to how many times people have seen this play performed by everybody else. Like, it's, I'll be so happy. I mean, and I say that, and like, do I think that Lin-Manuel Miranda is the absolute best singer in the entire universe? He's not. I love him a lot, but do I think his performance is maybe better than some other Hamiltons that have come after him? No, but it's Lin's baby. Like, he wrote this, he created this. Like, this is his thing. Like, to see him doing this role, oh God, it would be amazing for me to watch him on stage to do that. Like, yeah, I'm crazy excited to see it, especially the original, the Schuyler sisters. Like, to see that. Oh God, there's so much yes happening. I'm starting to get excited here. Yeah, no, I'm very, Leslie Odom. Oh God, it'll be so good. Anyways, no, I just,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to watch them perform this. I have a few friends that have been lucky enough to see some of the original cast members perform either in New York, and then most recently Lynn went down to Puerto Rico and he performed it there. And so I had a friend who was able to go to Puerto Rico, and she actually got a ticket and she actually got to see him do it. Like, that would be amazing too. But if this is as close as I'm going to get to it, I will take it. I will be there. First.
Are you as excited, David?
Oh, this is so loaded.
No, it's really not. I mean, I'm clearly not as excited because you are.
I love it.
You love Hamilton. I like Hamilton.
I'm teaching David's children to sing Hamilton songs. It's really bad.
Hamilton is good. I will see this, but I'm not like through the roof. Like, can't wait. I think I fall in the camp. I mean, given that I have seen the show before, I'm interested to see an actual performance of the original cast. Don't get me wrong, but I would fall in the camp of I'd like to see a film version of the musical.
I will agree with
and I
that,
think
yeah.
that'll happen one day.
I think so too.
But at the same time, seeing the original cast would be great. I'm all for that.
Do you think the chances of a real film, like a film of Hamilton being made the way, like, say, like Les Mis has been done, will be more likely after In the Heights comes out this summer?
I don't know if that'll really have an effect on things.
I do.
I don't know.
I kind
I
of
think that it'll be dependent on the success of In the Hype.
I kind of do too, honestly. I think people want to make sure that this is going to play well to people in a weird way, which I think this might actually, just putting out this footage as a film is going to also test the waters of, is it going to be beneficial for somebody to actually make the film of it?
I guess I don't see necessarily a correlation because, I mean, In the Heights is made for film. Like, it's unlike Hamilton, which would be interesting to see how it would be done as an actual film instead of just a stage play. It's a stage musical. It's the way the sets are done. It would be different to then try to interpret that into like shooting on locations, and I don't know if it would necessarily like point to In the Heights, did well, in terms of box office. So now that means people want to see Hamilton. I don't really necessarily see a correlation, but maybe it's just me.
So I have yet to see the play. I know only a few songs because at one point I thought, oh, well, maybe I might get a chance to see it. And so I did kind of want, there was a whole debate as to, should you not watch or listen to any of the songs before going to go watch it, or should you watch it and then, or should you listen to them and then have that going into it, because then you can kind of get more out of it if you've sort of done it a little bit beforehand. So I thought, okay, maybe I might have a chance to see it. And so I think I listened to a first, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes of it. Of different songs, from the play.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, this is pretty good. I like it. I'm into it. And I would definitely love to see how it looks visually. So I've not seen any of it visually. I've only heard some of the songs. So for me, I think this is perfect because I was into what I heard. Obviously, it's hugely popular. People love it. And I think being able to see it with that original cast will be special, and I think I'll get more out of it, especially considering I'm assuming what I listened to was from the original cast that sang the songs and did everything on stage.
Most likely.
Okay, so yeah, so I'd be able to hear that and then put it together with the original people that did the performance. I think will be pretty special and cool. So I'm actually looking forward to it more than I would have thought, just because I didn't get to experience it in live. And I heard that it's coming around, I think at Pantages again in March or April. So I don't know, maybe I'll look into seeing if I can try and go if the tickets aren't too crazy or anything. So
I highly recommend seeing it. I highly recommend seeing it.
Like to. So I'm
Dave,
into it.
I was gonna say David can give his opinions on hear it before seeing it or see it and then hear it. He has his thought process.
I guess after seeing Hamilton, now I fall in the camp of it depends on the musical, because I always go back to more recently anyway. I saw Book of Mormon. I never heard a song from Book of Mormon before, and I had an amazing time seeing that show on stage. I'm so glad I hadn't heard it before. Especially one song in particular, like just the reaction of the audience to it was like, this is amazing. Anyway, Hamilton, I wish I had listened to before.
It's a different.
It's just
it's a horse of a different color.
Yeah, it's just very different. I found it hard to understand what they were singing and rapping throughout the musical. And if I had listened to it before, I think maybe I would have enjoyed the musical more.
Like at least one go round, then seen it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think you had said pretty quickly. You're like, I kind of wish. I remember you were like, I kind of wish I had at least listened to it one time, because you spent so much time in the play concentrating so hard on what they were singing that you said visually it all kind of just melted away because you were so trying to comprehend what was happening.
Yeah, especially because visually it's not a musical where there's big set changes and huge props or anything. It is a very simple.
It's a very simple set, but the choreography that happens.
Right. No, but that's what I mean. Like watching it without, having heard it before, I wasn't able to appreciate a lot of that choreography. I feel like
I was geeking out and losing my mind.
I mean, I saw Miss Saigon and I'd never listened to that music before, but that's a show where there's huge things happening. It's
operatic scene almost.
Yeah. Les Mis I've never seen, but I know that's kind of how that is.
Right.
That's not Hamilton. It's much more about the songs themselves, about the dance numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm giving a long answer to this. I think people who have not seen this before should listen to it.
It's funny because I know that not like you were staunch on it or anything. And you're very like this is how it should be, but you always were like I always recommend just going in and not knowing anything about a play. And I have to say that that's kind of usually how I am traditionally. I will say that Hamilton kind of flips the script on that in my opinion, and I recommend people at least listen to it once. You get a general idea of what's going to happen. And that way, when you go see the play, you might be able to absorb more of what's actually happening on stage because as a simple stage play, there's a lot happening at the same time. Like there's definitely songs where there's certain choreography movements that are happening that I sat there and I went, oh, my brain exploded. I was like, God, that's genius. Like, that's amazing how they set that scene up. Like I was like, oh, just I mean, that was like weird things like that. I was like, this is, geez, that I can't even fathom how they came up with that. But God, they were crazy intelligent to do that.
And then it's coming to Orlando again, like next season, and I want to see it a second time, just because I'm curious to give a true opinion on the musical after one more showing. Because
I would be curious.
I still fall in the camp of like it was good. But I think it's also everyone can calm down a little bit. Like that's kind of where I was when I walked out. And that bums me out because the hype has
been so big. Oh. But I Shake It Wicked.
And I've never seen or heard Wicked. I mean, I've heard a song or two from Wicked. But.
So Yasha
didn't give his
yeah.
Yes.
Thoughts on Hamilton actually coming to a screen near you of the original cast?
I mean, I dig the idea of doing it. I mean, I like plays. I really do enjoy theater. So I wouldn't mind seeing the adaptation. I've heard that they're doing the Wicked one. I can't wait to see that. I enjoyed Into the Woods. I like that one. I didn't see Les Mis because that play is depressing, so I didn't really watch that one. I played it. I was in band when I was in school, and I played it all the time when I was in band. So I just really couldn't bring myself to do that. But I'm interested. I haven't seen Hamilton yet. I have tickets to see Hamilton when it comes here and it starts playing at the Pantages. So I will be seeing it soon. Yeah, soon.
I'm so excited for you.
My sister and I got tickets for me and my mom and my other sister for their birthday. So we're all going to go see it as an afternoon, as a matinee. We wanted to see it in the afternoon because, well, honestly, my mom doesn't really like to stay up super late, and I didn't want her to be sleepy. So we're going to see it in the middle of the day. Yeah. But I'm excited. Like, I really want to see it. I've heard wonderful things about this play, and I can't wait to see what the outcome is. So I'm all in.
I'm so excited for
you. I can hear it. You sound very excited. Oh, well, hopefully you enjoy it. And I guess I'll be the last to experience Hamilton like I'm the last to experience Star Wars Galaxy Edge. So eventually I'll make my way to both of those things. But I guess that's it for the news that I have. But before I turn it back over to you, David, I just wanted to let you guys know, and anyone out there that's listening or watching, that I did something that I'm going to try and keep up with this year. I created a Letterboxd account.
What's so
And-
okay? Really quick.
What?
I don't know what it was. Like you started to said I did a thing, and I thought Letterboxd, and I was
Really?
like, yeah, I don't know why. I haven't touched my Letterboxd in forever. Sorry, go on.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so anyone want to follow and see what I'm up to over there? You can see me over at Bojax. It's Bojax, and I will probably be keeping up with it pretty thoroughly since I tend to watch a lot of movies, and I'll probably for some of those movies have a little comment or a review for some of the stuff that I watch. So I've already started. I think I have like 2 movies I think I've listed in there. So check it out.
That's funny. Yeah, I'll have to look up what my Letterboxd account is, if I even still have one. I mean, they deleted it or something.
It just expired. It went on for so long.
I
without
created a
being touched.
Letterboxd account like early on. Like it was, and that's why I just didn't do anything with it because no one was on it. I was like,
Maybe.
well, this is kind of a a graveyard. No one's around by, and
Right.
but now I have been hearing more and more people like using it and leaving reviews on there and such. Yeah, I'll have to dig it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next weekend, well, obviously we're recording this on a Monday night because we couldn't record last night. It was the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Next weekend, we are definitely not recording Sunday night because it's the Oscars.
Oscar night.
So I'm unsure yet if we will be doing a show Monday night like we are this week. We might be. What's that look for?
I thought we were doing a show on Monday.
Then we were probably. I said we might be doing a show. I'm letting everyone know. I'm not certain. I'm just putting it out there. We might have to miss a week just in case. So yeah, we will either be recording next Monday or taking the weekend off. It will not be happening Sunday. That's basically all I'm saying. Is that cool?
I guess so.
All right.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I guess with that, it's time to wrap things up. As always, we'd love to hear back from everyone listening. You can email us at feedback@flickereffect.com with your questions and comments. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at flicker_effect. And we are on YouTube at youtube.com/flickereffect. I'm David Lott.
Bobby Jackson.
I'm Yasha Wilson.
And I'm Michelle Hiller.
Thanks for listening.